Hey everyone, I'm Branden Bodendorfer and welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about workflow, and actually I think I'm going to do a series of these type of videos from time to time, just showing you some workflow on how I edit some of the photos that you maybe see on Instagram or on social media. Using this photo right here, I'm going to take you through Lightroom and show you a tutorial how I get from this to this, and give you an idea of the workflow that I use and some of the different things that I consider. Now, not every single picture do I use the same steps, and there's certain pictures that I do different steps for, but I want to give you an idea on my workflow. So in less than 2 minutes, here is how I create my photography. Alright, so the first thing I like to do is I like to give myself as much desktop space as possible. So clicking on these little arrows here in Lightroom will allow you to minimize some of your panels and maximize the space that you're using. From there I click on Enable Profile Corrections, just make sure that the picture lines up with the lens that I used. Next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my picture is orientated correctly. So in this case, I'm going to simply change the cropping settings a little bit and adjust the angle. Using the ruler tool here, I draw a straight line, and that gives me a straight horizon. Next, holding down the Option key, I'll select black, and I'll slide my slider just a little bit so there's a little bit of black showing. That makes the blacks true. I do the same thing for the whites, and then from there, I adjust my contrast. This helps out bring some detail and contrast in the clouds. Highlights will definitely give you a little more dramatic color in the sunset, and shadows, if you bump that up a little bit, that'll give you a little bit more accent and coloring and help illuminate the dark areas. From there, I like to bring up the vibrance and the clarity. That just helps that sunset pop a little bit, and the dehazing feature will help bring some of those colors that were maybe lost. Next, I like to click on a tone curve and just kind of apply a little bit of an S curve to my photo. You can see the adjustments are being made here. Just adds a little bit to it. I give Jennifer here a call when we get done with this process. And I usually move this ever so slightly. On this particular photo, I'm going to go into the HSL color settings and just add a little bit more luminance to a few of the colors to help draw out some of that colors in the sunrise here. You can see how that makes a little bit of a difference. Just real subtle. Next, using one of the local adjustment tools, I'm just going to draw a circle here. Go ahead and angle that a little bit so it matches and then invert the effect. Adjust the exposure here a little bit just to give a little bit more luminance on the roadway. Add a little warmth in there. That way it looks like the sun is hitting that roadway. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll duplicate this. I'll pull it into another region, and just to kind of do the same effect so that your eyes have kind of driven lines drawing you to whatever the source of the picture is. In this case, we want to get everyone to look right at that sunrise. Here we'll back up the exposure a little bit. That looks good. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a 5:4 crop, which is what we use on Instagram for cropping. And I'm just going to crop this so that basically the sun is on a third. Draw that down a little bit so it's right on the third. All right, there's our final. There's the before and after. And here's a side-by-side of before and after. So there you have it, guys. That is my little quick workflow process. Please let me know in the comments below what you think of how I went through, and just give me any additional comments you might have. In the description, there will be a link to the raw file if you guys want to try to do some creation of yourself. And if you do so, please share those edits with me. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked it as much as I did, hit that subscribe button, punch that like button, and continue to follow me as we do more tutorials on my workflow process, as well as different technology reviews and just covering a day in the life of the different things that I do. So with that being said, I will see you guys again.